Tonight, a disgraceful case of vigilante justice, or were they fully aware of the stir they were creating? Passengers say their concerns were justified. The boys tell us it's an unwelcome sign of the times.
I think the whole thing that happened in London with the 27 people getting arrested, I think that played a very, very, very big part in this.
How long can such a fragile ceasefire last? Pressure builds on France to provide more troops for Lebanon, but have they lost their bottle? The search for the next Olympic champion, it's probably not him, but it could be you. And could you ever convince your 12-year-old that booster seats are cool? New EU proposals for car safety.
It used to be that I'd be old enough to drink, and now I'll be old enough that I don't have to be strapped into the back of a car like a sort of parcel.
Hello, good evening. They may have been victims of Islamophobia, or indeed what one officer has already called the new crime of flying whilst Asian. They may subconsciously or even consciously have been testing passenger reaction. Tonight, following revelations in the Daily Mirror, we'll hear from the two Muslim men who were forced off their plane from Malaga as a result of growing discomfort amongst their fellow travellers. They seem to have taken the whole experience remarkably well, although they say they've never experienced racism like it. Fellow travellers, meanwhile, insist their behaviour was sinister enough to warrant the alarm. We'll hear from them in a moment. First, here's Liz McKean.
Two students and a long summer vacation. A quick trip to Malaga should be nothing out of the ordinary. But what happened when Suhail Ashraf and Khurram Zeb tried to return to Manchester last week highlights the deep unease of the travelling public. Never mind that security had cleared them to board the plane. Nervy fellow passengers had other ideas. The Schofield family, who were on the flight, said the men's behaviour attracted suspicion.
As soon as the two gentlemen got on the plane, it went very quiet.
Yeah, atmosphere change.
Rightly or wrongly, whether people judge correctly or incorrectly, the atmosphere, there was obviously, people were scared.
It was a return holiday flight to Manchester that was full of people in flip-flops and shorts, and there was just two people in the whole crowd that didn't look like they belonged there.
The 22-year-olds, who both live and study in Manchester, were escorted off the flight by armed Spanish police. They were allowed to fly home the following day. The father of one says they were picked on by a paranoid public because of their Asian background.
Why do you think that they were suspicious of him?
I think because of Muslim.
Because he was Muslim?
I think so.
The airline Monarch says that standard security procedures were followed. It insists that the decision to make the men leave the flight had been taken by the pilot and not the passengers. Any such decision to request further security checks is taken by the captain after giving full consideration to all the available information, and that decision is not taken unless there are genuine concerns. Whatever the views and opinions of other passengers may be, those views and opinions would not on their own be the reason to request further security checks on other passengers. Throughout the current state of high alert, the official message to the travelling public has been to carry on regardless. But as the two students discovered, the scares and warnings are taking their toll, and jittery passengers are prepared to take security into their own hands.